Well, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Sam, and this is my guitar YouTube page, and I'm happy that you clicked on the video. I haven't posted a video probably, I don't know, 3-4 months now. Just kind of busy and not able to edit the way I want to, so I'd rather put out good content than like really bad content, and just because I can, kind of a thing. So if you're sticking with me, thanks for doing that. I want to talk about something that I did today that has to do with this 1999 Fender Deluxe Strat, and it kind of doesn't have anything to do with it, but it does have something to do with it. So I went to my local guitar center for the first time in a really long time just to look at guitars. I usually pop in real quick, especially during COVID and all this crazy lockdown stuff, just pop in, grab strings, pop out. And every time I've been, there have been like zero inventory, or very little inventory. I remember at the beginning of last summer, there was like nothing in the store. But the guy who worked behind the counter reassured me. He said, hey, it's coming back, there's more inventory coming. So I went today. Because it's been kind of a tradition over the past couple of years that I buy a guitar in the summer that I really want. And so I was like, what guitar do I want? I've got some cash. Last summer I got the Les Paul Special by Epiphone. The year before I got the 339 Pro by Epiphone. So I was like, maybe not get an Epiphone this year. I don't know. But I went in and I was like, I'm going to have an open mind. I've been, I usually buy stuff from Sweetwater, but I wanted to test it out because Sweetwater's, their inventory online has been just almost nothing. So I was like, okay, let's see what we can see when we go into Guitar Center. So I went in today and the walls were covered with guitars. I was like, yes, this is awesome. Finally, they're coming back. But here's the deal. I was really disappointed in some of the guitars that were hanging on the wall. One of the guitars I thought I might be interested in was a Fender Players Series Telecaster, a three-tone Sunburst Telecaster. And I was like, ooh, that might, it's a decent price. I think it's like $750 or something. And so they had a couple of those there. And I saw it at first. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Maybe I want that. I also was looking at some Strats that were the same Players Series. I didn't want to get a Professional Series Strat. They're just a little out of my price range right now. I don't want to drop $1,200 on a Strat because I've got 4 Strats already, so I don't need another one. But I looked at those two. I thought, oh, these are cool. And the Players Series ones. I also looked at a lot of the new Epiphone stuff that's coming out. So Guitar Center has these, the traditional Pro 4s that are coming out from Epiphone. They have an SG, they've got the Les Pauls. I think the Les Pauls have the worn finish on them. So I picked up a couple of those because I was like, I want to play these. I want to see what what the new stuff is about from Epiphone. I loved my Les Paul Special last year. I thought, this is an amazing guitar. But last summer, when I was picking what guitar I wanted, I was kind of waffling back and forth because I wanted a Les Paul, and I was thinking, I want the Les Paul Special, but it was almost never available. So I was like, well, maybe I'll go with the worn, the Les Paul Classic worn. Well, I picked up the traditional Pro 4 today to play it because the finish on it is that worn matte kind of finish, and it was terrible. It was awful. And and this may be a hot take. I don't know. All these other guys on there on YouTube are going, "Oh, this is so amazing." Man, I picked it up. It felt like plastic. It felt bad. It did not feel like. I have some satin finishes on my guitars here, and it did not feel like that at all. It actually felt like a cheap plastic kind of a neck. The feeling the wood grain through it is fine, but the holes in all of it, it just felt bumpy. It felt plasticky. It felt gross. I was like, ooh, I don't like this. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to touch. It didn't feel good to play. It just did not feel right. And so in my head, I went, check, the Les Paul Special was the way to go. I'm glad I didn't buy that Les Paul Classic worn because I just didn't like that finish at all. And I was pretty disappointed by it. So I was like, well, cross that off the list, not happening. I'm still pretty intrigued by the SG, the traditional Pro 4 SG. But if Epiphone's not going to keep up with their quality, I don't know if I'm going to do that. So then I went over to the Fender stuff, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just get the Fender Telecaster and go that route. Well, I picked up the Player Series Telecaster, 3-tone Sunburst, and I was super disappointed. I was really disappointed by it. The quality control was really kind of lacking. I did not love on the Player Series guitars. There's the neck, the face of the guitar, the headstock, and the fretboard on the maple ones are glossy, super glossy headstock, super glossy fretboard. Then you go to the back of the neck, and it's not at all. It's it's got a satin wood kind of finish, although it's not as good of a satin finish as even my Squier guitar. My Squier Deluxe Stratocaster has a better satin finish on its neck than the Player Series Telecaster or Stratocaster. And so I was super disappointed. I was really disappointed in the fretwork. It was really sharp up and down. I think 3 guitars I picked up, same thing. All felt the same. Then it felt, how do I say it? It felt fake. The whole guitar just felt like it was. The best way to put it is I have a Bullet Stratocaster by Squier, and it kind of felt like that, like a heavier version of that. And I just was like, really? It was $750. And I was like, this is what you get for $750? And then I picked up a Classic Vibe 1960s custom Telly. And it blew the Player Series Telly out of the water. I mean, from the weight of it, to the look of it, to the feel of the neck, to the playability of the guitar. I mean, it sounded about the same, but it just felt better. It looked better, in my opinion. It didn't look all plasticky. It looked vintage. I don't know. I was just really disappointed in Fender stuff, and I'm a Fender fan, and the Player Series stuff, if that's the $700 whatever, you can't have your Squier stuff that's $440 or $470 better than your $700 stuff. So I hope that they start to, up their Player Series stuff and make it better than their Classic Vibe stuff in the Squier, because Squier's Classic Vibe stuff is blowing away the Player Series stuff, in my opinion, just from my visit today. Now, I could go back 6 months from now and maybe it's all different and they have different guitars there, but the guitars that they had representing the Player Series in my local guitar center, they just weren't great. And the Squier Classic Vibe stuff was better just from picking up and playing it. So I think today, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go with the Squier Classic Vibe 60s custom telly with the double binding on it and it was a nice guitar. So I think I'm going that route. But here the reason I said it has to do with this guitar is this is a made in Mexico Fender Deluxe Stratocaster from 1999. This guitar blows that guitar out, the Player Series guitars, out of the water. Like, not even close. I mean, look at the finish on it. Beautiful. You can see through the grain through the finish. It's got a beautiful maple neck. It's glossy but not sticky. The pickups are amazing. Everything on it is just great. And I think this one was like $600 or something. So, man, Fender, get better. That's all I have to say for today. Now, you may have one of those guitars you're like, dude, Sam, you're way off base. My guitar is awesome. I'm telling you that from my experience today, that's how I felt. And so I'm a guy who's bought Squier guitars, Fender guitars. I said, way back in the day, 2009, I bought a Squier Deluxe Stratocaster. And I was like, that's better than all the made in Mexico stuff that I've played. And it was, and I still hold that to be true. My Squier Deluxe Stratocaster and this guitar sound very similar, but that one plays way better than this one does. Has a better finish on the neck, has better feel to it. This one gets a little buzzy, and that one doesn't. So anyway, there's my rant for today. So hopefully Fender can start upping their stuff better than their Squier stuff, or else people are going to start buying the Squier stuff because they're going to be like, I'm not paying $300 for a logo. All right, have a great week. See ya.